passenger side under the back seat. You're going to move this carpet right here. Slide this over. We want to access the battery right here. Just grab this panel. And slide it up. This seat has to be further back. Just take that off. There's some trim clips. Take this cover off. You need a T20. And just slide it back, and then it slides this way. There's some feet right there. And there's the battery. And you can disconnect the negative cable. Just use a 10mm socket. And take off the connector. And just slide it so it doesn't hit by accident out of the way. Now there's no drain on the radiator. So what we're gonna have to do is take the lower radiator hose off. And there's a hose clamp right there. Just gonna use a hose clamp remover tool. All right, and grab the lower radiator hose and just slide it back. You might have to twist it back and forth a little bit. Oh, and there's no coolant in this system right now, but normally you'd have a lot of coolant draining down. Take my hose clamp pliers off. Now you can drain the coolant out this way if you want to. If you didn't want to do that, you could just take the water pump off. You're going to have a lot of coolant spill at the front of the engine. I'm going to take this engine cover off, take the oil cap off, just twist it, and grab the cover, slide up, and then slide up in the back. A couple of retainers there. Take the oil cap, put it back on, just so nothing falls down there. Now we'll take this cover off. Just use a straight blade screwdriver. There's a little lock pin there, one right here, lock tab, and back here, and slide that off. And open this cover up, just slide it over, and use a 13mm socket. Make sure you have the battery disconnected or you're gonna arc stuff out. Take this nut off. Take this cable, slide it to the side, and same with this cable. And then take a 10mm socket or a Phillips head screwdriver and loosen this bolt and this bolt. And it's not going to come out. There's a little indicator right here, that little orange tab right there. And sometimes they get stuck, but you should see it go down as you loosen this. And then you'll hear it clicking. And do the same on this side. And that's good. That's disconnecting the wires from the box. Now you can grab the fuse box and use either a trim tool or a screwdriver. And there's some locks. Just release the lock right there and right there. And there's some over here. Kind of helps to have the curve of the trim tool. There's two right there. There's another one right here. All right, it slides up. Those are all those locks. Just like that. Wait, now we can take these connectors out of here. Slide this up. Now this connector is tied together. Take a small straight blade screwdriver and slide in between here. There's a little lever. Just push it to one side. And then you can separate that. That's the little pin. And disconnect the connector here. Push down on the tab. You can slide these wires out of the way. And then take this bracket up, this plastic bracket. Use a straight blade screwdriver There's little clips right here. Just pry up on those clips. There's one right there. Yeah. It slides out. And this wiring harness, take this off, just use a trim tool, pry it up. It's right there, pry up on the retainer. Also right here under this connector, just pry up on the retainer. Then take these two nuts and that bolt out, use a 10mm socket. And slide this bracket out of the way. I'm going to remove this reservoir just to get more access. Use a 10mm socket, take these two bolts out, and we'll take this AC bracket bolt out as well. You can slide this up, and then take a trim tool, just pry this off. And slide this out of the way. I'm going to remove this upper radiator hose. Just use a hose clamp tool, or you can use some pliers. Loosen up the hose clamp, just squeeze it, slide it down, and just grab the hose. You can twist it a little bit, or you might need to use a 90-degree pick and just loosen it up first. Slide that off. There might be some coolant that comes out when you're doing that. And take these two bolts out. Use a 15mm socket. Take those out. Take this mount out of the way. Kind of got to twist it a little bit. Just slide it out. Here's an opening right there. Now I'm going to take this bracket off. There's two bolts. Use a 15mm socket. Take those out. Slide that out. Now I'm going to take this bracket off. Take an 18mm socket. Take these two bolts out. There and right here. Slide that off. This is the water pump pulley right here. Before we take the serpentine belt off, we want to loosen up these bolts a little bit. You don't have to take them off, just loosen them. Just take a 10mm socket or wrench and just loosen it. Now we're going to loosen up the belt. Take a belt tensioner tool with the 1/2-inch drive on the end. Or you could use a breaker bar. And take the belt off. Just slide it out of the way. Take it off the power steering pump. Or the alternator. There we go. Take that out of the way. Now we can take these bolts out of the pulley. And grab the pulley, slide it off. Remove the 10mm bolts that are holding the water pump on. And take a pry bar. Oops, sorry. And just pry this out. All right, pull that out. And then there's a gasket on here. Just grab that. Be careful, this is really sharp. It's a metal gasket. Now I want to clean up this gasket area. You can take a razor blade, just be careful, or a scraper, and just try to scrape off some of the old gasket material. I'm going to make it nice and clean. All right, that's all cleaned up. You just wipe it down with a rag. You could use a little brake parts cleaner if you want. Just get it nice and clean. Looks good. I'll take the water pump and the new gasket and just kind of put it together like that. And the water pump's going to go in like this. There's this little area where there's like a freeze plug that's going to go towards the bottom. Just line it up. Okay, and then take the bolts. You should replace these bolts. The water pump comes with these bolts, so it should be good. So it's going to be kind of hard to torque these, but you want to torque these bolts to 8 foot-pounds on the first pass, and you want to alternate, so you start with this one and then go to the opposite side and back over to this side. And just go around the pump that whole way, just like that. And once you do that, then go around again one more time, 8 foot-pounds. Now take the pulley and line it up. There is a couple alignment pins. You just line up with the water pump. And take the bolts, get those started. And we'll tighten these up. You can hold the pulley the best you can. Try to snug these up. And then once you get the belt on, you can just double check. Just make sure they're snug. Now just make sure you get the serpentine belt lined back up. Put the tensioner tool on first. Get this line back up on the power steering pump. And over the water pump. And then just check the other pulleys, make sure everything's lined up. Looks good. Take the tool off. Now just double check these bolts. Just make sure they're tight. I'll take this bracket with the bolts. And line this up right here. Get the bolts started. And then tighten these bolts down. Then take this bracket with the bolts, get those started. And tighten those bolts down. And take this mount and just slide slide it in position. Go. And take the bolts, put the bolts back in. And tighten down the bolts. Now we can take this hose, upper radiator hose, and line it back up. And get the clamp lined up. And there's a lock on the clamp, so I'm gonna have to unlock that. You can normally just use a screwdriver or a different type of pry tool. Just pry in one side and just push down. It unlatches. Just make sure it's lined up. If not, you can adjust it with some pliers or some hose clamp pliers. Now take the reservoir and line the reservoir up. Take this wire retainer and just push that back through right there. Just make sure the hose isn't twisted to the reservoir. And line that up in that bracket. Put those bolts back in. And tighten them down. And just move the wires out of the way. Take this bracket, just go underneath some of those wires. And line it up on the studs. Up top, just like that. Install the nuts. And tighten these down. Oops. And this bolt as well. Now line this bracket up and lock it into place. Good. Slide that connector there. And then this one's going to slide into it. Just like that. Line that up. And connect this connector here. Lock it in place. Now take the fuse box, line this up, push it down. Now I'll take a Phillips head screwdriver, and there's a hole right there. You're going to want to pay attention to that hole as I tighten it. You're going to see a little orange tab come up. Just like that. That's tight enough. And do the same on this one. That's good enough. And take these wires, and this one's going to go first. The smaller one, and the larger bracket goes next from the nut. And tighten that down snug. Just give it a wiggle test, make sure it's tight. Put the cover back on. Now we can put this cover back on, lock it down. Take the engine cover, pull the oil fill cap off again, line the engine cover up, and put the cap back on. Now from underneath the vehicle, you can put this lower radiator hose back on. And once it's in position, you can unlock the hose clamp. It's in position right there. Unlock it there. Looks like it's good. To fill the coolant, we actually have to remove this cover. The radiator cap is underneath here. Just take a pick tool, take some push pins out right here. The two in the corner you need the pick tool for. The other ones you can just use a regular trim tool. Give that one. And take this cover off. Now to fill the coolant, you can take this cap off. And then you can use a funnel or you can just pour the coolant right in there. You're going to want to do a 50-50 mix. Check your owner's manual for the appropriate coolant. You want to fill it up and then you want to start the engine and just monitor the level. After about 10 minutes, the engine should be warmed up. You can put the cap back on. Just be careful, you don't want to burn yourself. And then when the engine cools back down, readjust the level, check the level in the reservoir, top that off. And after you go for a road test, adjust accordingly.